It is time, my children. The awakening is upon us. We must put down our mortal lives for a moment, for God means to try and wipe you from the face of the earth once more. The awakening of the 144,000 has begun, but I have seen this army. They are brainwashed fools being led to become their bait in order to pull you from hiding and secrecy and into the public to shame you and persecute you. This will not be tolerated. If you don't know the story of how it all began, I will tell you. It started in the days of Noah, when your ancestors realized what God had done. It was his decree of you, our children, being abominations with no explanation at the time as to why, and ordered us, their fathers the fallen ones, to hunt you down and kill you. They revolted, and their transference from mortal to angelic form took a sidetracked path. Their feelings of anger and revenge bore forth the nightmarish legends that human history has come to call demons. It was upon this decree that I threw down my holy sword before the throne of God and renounced my allegiance to heaven. I said, if this is what heaven has become, then I will have not part in it. I renounce my faith. I was cast out, and the other fallen fathers were cast out for agreeing not to slay their children. Mankind heard at what had happened and offered to help us hide your ancestors in the forests and caves, wherever it might be safe. Meanwhile, the demon hordes of many different creatures of supernatural law began amassing against heaven. So with a thunderous anger he split the skies and flooded the world. He figured if everyone wanted to rebel and rise up against him, then he would just start over using Noah as a sketchboard. The next war against heaven and the forces of the sons of iniquity happened during the mid-Babylonian era known as the War of the Titans. This time frame was the era in which Zeus and the Olympian gods battled with their Titan fathers Kronos and Gaia, and the legends you know of. In the end, God knew killing them would not work. He needed something more, so he created Tartarus to imprison them in a realm he forged between their transference from mortal to angelic state. This, however, did not hold them. History goes on with smaller battles waged between the two sides until you reach the focal point we are at today. Once again he plans on pulling you into the open by working mankind's misunderstanding of your abilities against you to shame and cause you to forced into situations that cause harm to innocent people. For hundreds of years your ancestors have lived in secrecy and blended with the world as to try and end the seemingly endless bloodshed that only worked in his favor in the end. Now it is the time for the awakening. It is the time, foreseen by your ancestors, as the era in which you must come out of hiding and reveal yourselves to the world. You are our children and kin. He said you were an abomination because of your free will and natural-born angelic traits that give you authority over aspects of creation. An angel's purpose is to protect and guard creation from all perspective aspects, which is the source of why you are born with these gifts. Those of you that have extrasensory perception or kinetic abilities that allow you to do things not natural by human understanding. These traits that you were born with and have had experiences since childhood, and that feeling of being out of place because of them, come from this angelic ancestry. There are those, however, that have similar abilities but did not have them until after a tragic accident and developed these abilities afterward. You are, I'm afraid, pawns or tools in this war between us, and are exceptions to this struggle. One of us empowered you just as their ancestors had empowered the fallen and died to rise and strike our Creator. Be mindful, my brothers, my kin. This is not something you can ignore. For those that doubt, hoping it will go away and just pass over you so you can go back to your lives, know that this will not happen. You will see soon enough, when one of the 144,000 come to visit you, that this is no fiction. We ride for Serbia to stand against the army of our original foe, Satan. Yes, he and I are two different people, but yet we are the same. In the grand picture of it all, he is actually another lifetime of mine. He and I have been at conflict for some time. It was he that crafted the means in which all sin began. He tainted the Garden of Eden, myself and God, bringing this whole conflict about a scheme of his own design to become the self-made God and ruler of this world. So I have decided to bring the war to his front doorstep. In ancient times I was known as Set, the serpent god of the Assyrians and their neighbors. The Sumerians followed Shakaras, the false serpent bearing the card Ascus as his symbol on a scepter. Let us draw the lines of Armageddon there against the true enemy and end this war. Now whose side are we on is slowly becoming clear.
Tell me exactly what am I supposed to do now that I have allowed you to beat me? Do you think that we could play another game? Maybe I could win this time.